तो स्टूडेंट्स, ये हमारा सेकंड लेक्चर है इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक वेव्स का। इस लेक्चर में हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं हर्ट्ज एक्सपेरिमेंट। इस लेक्चर में हम हर्ट्ज एक्सपेरिमेंट और इसके इंटरप्रिटेशंस डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। व्हाट इंटरप्रिटेशंस वी कैन गेट फ्रॉम हर्ट्ज एक्सपेरिमेंट। तो हर्ट्ज भाई साहब ने क्या किया, उसने दो कैपेसिटर्स लिए, दो मेटालिक प्लेट्स लिए। These were two metallic plates. These are two metallic plates. Let this is plate P1 and this is another plate. Let this is plate P2. He took two metal plates, plate P1 and plate P2. Now he connected this metal plate to a small wire like this to two surfaces. These are two surfaces. Let this is surface 1 and this is surface 2. Now the whole system, these plates, they were connected to the induction coil. They were connected to the induction coil. This is induction coil. To this induction coil, these plates were connected. This induction coil, these plates were connected. This is induction coil. This is our induction coil. Now see, this whole apparatus is called transmitter. This is called transmitter. This is called transmitter. Now here he placed a detector of small ring size with opening in the ring. This is a detector. This detector has two sides. This is surface 1 and surface 2, or let this is S and S dash. Now see, ये experimental setup है और this is known as detector. इसको हम detector कहते हैं. Detector. This is known as detector. यहाँ पे हम डिटेक्ट करेंगे उसकी ऑब्जर्वेशंस. ना हर्ट्ज भाई साहब ने क्या किया, उसने दो प्लेट्स लिए, टू मेटालिक प्लेट्स, दे एक्ट एज कैपेसिटर्स. वन प्लेट वाज P1 एंड द अदर प्लेट वाज नेम्ड एज P2. ये उतने भी बड़े प्लेट्स नहीं थे, इनका साइज कुछ रेंज कर रहा है. इट मे बी डिफरेंट बट इट यूजुअली रेंज इन द 30 to 50 centimeter square range area of these plates. And he connected these plates to the induction coil. This is our induction coil. Induction coil. What is the need of this induction coil? The aim of using this induction coil is to generate high potential. It generates potential difference. It generates over here potential difference. It supplies electric potential to it. Now see what happens. This gap between S1 and S2, this is called sparking gap. This is called sparking gap. Why it's called sparking gap? We will look at it. We will have a look at it. Now see, this whole system, it's called transmitter and this is called detector. Now see what happens when this induction, when potential is supplied through this induction coil, a very large amount of potential difference is created between these two plates, a very high potential, a potential of about 10,000 volts is created between the plates. And that potential, because of that potential, that these surfaces, they become charged. For example, let this surface becomes negatively charged and this surface becomes positively charged. Since because of very high potential on this plate, charge moves towards this surface, charge moves towards this surface. Since there is now large amount of charge on this surface and large amount of charge on this surface, these surfaces are now, they are rich in charges. Let the charge on this surface is plus and the charge on this surface is minus. Now what is this gap? It's a free space. This is free space. In this gap there is only air. This is free space. Now what happens? He concluded that an electric a spark is generated between this surface and this surface. Now the question is how the spark is generated. Now the reason for the generation of the spark is this. Because on applying a high potential, what happens? These surfaces become charges. And because of high potential developed on the surfaces, what happens? They knock electrons from the air. For example, this surface knocks electron from the air. Once it knocks electron from the air, the position of air at this position, it becomes positively charged this side. Then this side knocks another electron. This becomes positively charged. Then this side knocks another electron. This side knocks another electron. As a result, what I mean by saying, This is a site for V. This site has very high potential. This site is positively charged. It wishes to attract electron. There is air present in the medium. Because air is made of matter. Matter consists of electrons and protons. What happens? Then this site attracts electrons from the air. For example, it attracted one electron from the air. Then after it attracted electron over here, the electron is lost and it moves to over here. This side becomes positively charged. Then it attracts another electron. This side becomes positively charged. Then it attracts another electron. As a result, what happens? As a result, a spark is generated over here. That's why this gap is known as spark gap. Now, what does this spark gap does? Spark gap eliminates this medium over here, which was building between the two. That's air medium. Now, see later on what he concluded that this detector also contains a spark is generated also in this detector. He also concluded that a spark is generated in the detector. Now the question is, why is spark generated in the detector? What is the reason for the generation of spark in the detector? Now spark is generated in the detector. Now what is the reason? We have to look at the reason of this. What is the reason why spark is generated over here? यहाँ पे spark generate हो गई, इसका reason था potential आई, potential हमने इंडक्शन कॉइल से पोटेंशियल जनरेट की, बहुत ज़्यादा पोटेंशियल जनरेट करने से क्या हुआ, यहाँ का जो पॉजिटिव चार्ज का मैग्नीट्यूड है वो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया, उसने एयर से कुछ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लिए, एज अ रिजल्ट spark got built up between S1 and S2 surfaces. Because the size of S1 and S2 surfaces, because the difference in the size of S1 and S2 surfaces, it was very small, almost about 2 centimeters. It was about 2 centimeters. It was small distance. Had it been the large distance, then we would have to apply very high potential, more than 10,000, maybe 20,000, 50,000, 70,000. Means if we can interpret over here, if the distance between these surfaces is small, then we have to charge these plates to a very low potential. If the distance between the plates increases, then the potential has to be increased to generate a spark over there. Means we can get an idea over here that this sparking between the surfaces, it is directly proportional to the sparking between the surfaces. It's inversely proportional to the potential applied, potential generated. Small the it is directly proportional to the potential generated. जितनी ज़्यादा पोटेंशियल जनरेट करोगे उतनी ज़्यादा गैप हमें ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. अगर गैप कम है तो कम पोटेंशियल ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द पोटेंशियल अप्लाइड. Now see, now the question is, if there is sparking, that's right, but how come here a spark can be generated? Why a spark has been generated? Now he concluded that actually the wave is produced over here, which travels in the form of electric and magnetic fields, which has both components, electric and magnetic field components. Now one more question arises here. What is that question? Since an accelerating charge generates electric and magnetic field generates an accelerating charge generates electric and magnetic field in motion. A charge can generate an electric and magnetic field even if it is not accelerating. Let us discuss it. For example, we have a charge. This charge can be at rest or it can be in motion. If our charge is at rest, then it only generates electric field. And if our charge is at motion, we can have two types of motions. It can move with a constant velocity, motion with constant velocity, or motion with acceleration. Now if our charge moves with a constant velocity, it shows motion with constant velocity, then it generates electric field and magnetic field. But these electric and magnetic field, they have constant magnitude. It generates electric and magnetic field with constant magnitude. But when our motion is accelerated motion, it's not constant motion, charge generates both electric and magnetic field. But these electric and magnetic fields, they vary with the time. They are time dependent. Time dependent. Now see what I have said. We have a charge. We have a charge at rest and motion. If our charge is at rest, only electric field is generated. If it's in motion, we have two types of motion. If it moves with a constant velocity, then it generates electric and magnetic field. If it moves with an acceleration, then it also generates electric and magnetic field. The difference is only here the electric and magnetic field move with constant velocity. Here they are time dependent. They move with respect to the time. Now see one more important point. An accelerating body is also called an oscillating body. Means when our charge is oscillating, it produces electric and magnetic field. Now the concept can be applied over here. Since this was a charge, this charge was oscillating. This charge is an accelerated charge. Now how can we know that this charge is an accelerated charge? Now see why this is an accelerated charge, because this charge moves. How it moves? Because this charge, electron moves over here, electron moves over here, electron moves over here. Now continuously the electrons will move from this surface to this surface. Motion of the electrons will lead to the motion of the charge, that's accelerated charge. Since an accelerated charge produces both electric and magnetic field, since an accelerated charge produces both electric and magnetic field, I will show it very clearly. Since an accelerated charge produces both electric and magnetic field, that is why a spark is generated in the detector. Now see, it produces both electric and magnetic field. Let this is the electric field component. Electric field component. And let this is the magnetic field component. These two components are mutually perpendicular to each other. This is the electric field component. This is the magnetic field component. Like this, this is electric field component. This is magnetic field component. Means it's like this. We have three axes. We have x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. And our wave is propagating like this. This wave propagates because of motion of charged particle, because of motion of charges. Now because of the motion, electric field and magnetic field will be generated. Let this is our electric field. This is our electric field which is generated. And this to this electric field there should also be magnetic field component. That magnetic field component will be like this. This is our magnetic field component. मतलब क्या है कहने का, मतलब ये है कहने का कि हमारे पास में ये x axis है. This is our x axis, this is x axis, this is z y axis, and this is for example z axis. This is z axis, this is y axis. Depends on you. Now this is our x axis. Now to this x axis we have a perpendicular direction. This is perpendicular direction. Now in this direction our electric field is moving. In this direction our electric field is moving. Then our magnetic field component has to move perpendicular to it in this direction. Means this is our electric field direction, and magnetic field has to move like this. And this direction, it will indicate the direction of motion of the particle, the direction of the motion of the wave. Now see, we have an electric field component, that is this, and a magnetic field component that's perpendicular to this, and this is the direction of motion of the wave. What we got over here, what results we interpret over here, a spark is generated because of potential applied. Because of this spark, an charge starts accelerating between these surfaces. Because of accelerating charge, what happens? Both electric and magnetic field is generated. Because of the motion of this electric and magnetic field, detector is also getting sparked. We get spark in the detector. Now this is Hertz experiment, how he concluded that an accelerating charge produces electric and magnetic field. This is the Hertz experiment. Now there are certain interpretations of this experiment. There are certain overviews of this experiment. Results of this experiment. Hertz ने क्या किया भाई साहब ने? इसने अपने एक्सपेरिमेंट में लो फ्रीक्वेंसी ली. Low frequency, dealt with low frequency. He dealt with low frequency. He deal with low frequency. According to Hertz, he obtained the equation for this, that frequency is equal to 1 by 2 pi under root of 1 divided by LC, where C is the capacitance of these conductors and L is the inductance of this inductor. This is inductor. If you know the capacitance of these conductors and if you know the inductance of this inductor, you can determine frequency of the wave. The frequency of the wave that is being oscillating between this transmitter and detector. Number second point. Now see what's one more important point. This is detector. If this detector is placed like this, अगर हम इस detector को हमने ये detector ऐसे रख दिया, this is S1 surface, this is S2 surface. अगर हम इस detector को ऐसे रखेंगे, then spark was not produced. अगर हम इस detector को tilt करेंगे, then spark was not produced. It means that the sparking in the detector depends upon the geometry. It depends upon the geometry of this detector. By geometry, I mean that polarization of this detector means sparking, the nature of the wave, the nature of this electromagnetic wave. It depends upon the polarization of a substance. It also depends upon polarization. We will discuss those factors, polarization, transverse nature, in the next lecture. Means polarization. He discussed one more important factor, that is polarization. Now see, this is a detector, it is detected. If I tilt it like this, it is not detected. If I tilt it like this, it is not detected. Means the geometry of this detector, it's very important, it plays a role. By geometry I mean the polarization. By polarization we mean how we can calculate its components. That's I0 omega sine theta kz. We'll do that if that will be included in our service, or if that is not, still we will try to do those. Now he also concluded that these waves have transverse nature. This is all about Hertz experiment of electromagnetic radiations. That's why he dealt with the frequency. That's why frequency has the units of Hertz. It's in the honor of this Henry Hertz. Thanks for watching this.